Hello everybody and happy Thanksgiving. I made a Thanksgiving card for the Art Impressions Watercolor Weekend, which you can find on their blog twice a month on a Saturday. So to make this card, you need to use any of the tiny structures and pick one of the scenes. I chose the longest road scene and I inked the road in the brown Tombow 969 marker, and I used the 969 brown marker on all of the structures, and I used 565. And I didn't stamp them off, and I wish I would have. So if you do this, I would definitely recommend stamping them off once first. I painted the roofs on the left side in the 969, but the roofs on the right side, I used the 947 marker on them. I stamped the trees in the 158 green, and also I added some of the yellow 993 on the tops of the trees so they would look more fallish. I also used the twin tone blue marker to darken the windows and door areas, and I used N25 on the silo by the one barn, and I used brown 969 for the doors on each of the structures. Okay, I think I'm finally caught up from everything I did when I forgot to turn on my camera. So I'm still adding grass and kind of smoothing it out. And now I take some brown 969 and add it to the road. And now I take 856, my favorite red, and make my barn red. And I add some N25 to the sides of the silo. And then I think my trees are a little too washed out, so I add just the green 158 to the stamp, and I stamp them some more. And then I add some 565, some of the blue, to make shadows at the end of that road. And I use 969 under the barn for some dirt around it. And now I'm going to ink the little trees. I used the 565, no, I used the 969, the brown for the trees. And then I make the trees, two of them. I stamped the leaves in the 856. Two of them are stamped in 925. And two of the trees are stamped in 993, or inked rather, and stamped. And then I add a little water to each of the trees. And I forgot to turn on the camera when I stamped all the fences in. Now I take the blue 565 on the palette and I start making shadows under all of the buildings and the fences and the trees. Now I take 565 to try to make like mountains in the background. Then I didn't think they looked much like mountains, so I had a little bit more blue and increased my my tops, thinking that looks more like a mountain. I don't know. What do you guys think? So now I take the 158 and ink up the large grass from the original set, and I make my little hill on top here of the scene, and I pull the color up and out. And then I ink up one of the pumpkin stamps with brown 969. I stamp it off on my paper and then I stamp it. And then I ink up the other pumpkin the same way, 969, and stamp it off. Now I take some more of the brown and I watercolor the stems of the pumpkins. Then I pull the color out of the lines. And then I put some of the 925 on the palette and I watercolor the pumpkins. Now I take some of the 993 to paint in the white spots I left for the highlights of the pumpkins. Trying to concentrate on making them look round. And then I'm going to use some of the 158 from the palette to fill in the area of this little hill. Use some of the blue 565 for shadows under the pumpkins. And then I tried to build up that color, the orange, some more on the pumpkins. And here I stamped some of the little red berries using the 856. I'll touch each of the little berries, kind of brighten them up a little. Now I'll take some little grasses and color them in with the 993 yellow and stamp those around. I'll dab at those with a wet brush and kind of brighten up the yellow and smooth it out at the ends. And that pretty much sums it up, except for the sentiment I stamped, Happy Thanksgiving, in the white area I left on the bottom there. And I inked the windmill in the black N25 and then the brown 969. And don't forget the shadow under it. So thank you very much for watching my tutorial today. Let me know what you think down below in the comments and give me a thumbs up if you like it. Be sure to check out my blog for a list of all of the supplies that I used on this.